So SMMA isn't dead. You're just doing it wrong. I want to be honest with you. Med spas, fitness coaches, restaurants, dentists are great. However, real estate is starving for good marketing. And this is how you can take advantage of that into 2026 with your business overall. Hi, my name is Iman. I literally own 2 social media marketing agencies that basically make more than 6 figures every single year. We have more than 68 million views that we've literally created for ourselves and for our business owners. Overall, we have 100 appointments booked for them, and on top of that, we won a Grammy in the past year in 2025. Shout out to the guy Curtis. But more so than anything else, I'm going to show you how to start an SMMA the right way in 2026, okay? So first of all, we're going to pick a niche. We're going to pick a niche that's not necessarily saturated. And I'm going to define saturated properly. So not a lot of people trying basically equates to a lot of good companies already dominating, right? So in reality, the one niche that is basically needed, or they basically require, or almost is absolutely necessary, in which that social media marketing is actually beneficial for them overall, it's just the reality. It's real estate, because agents are desperate for competent marketing for their business overall. Most have been burnt out by random freelancers or basically weak agencies that don't have systems in place, and only a few real go-to players actually exist, especially when they have a downline or an upline with multiple agents under them, right? So the key point here is essentially less real competition equals higher prices and better clients, right? So what does that mean? Why is real estate a strong SMMA niche, right? The pros are essentially that you're basically trying to create B2B sales, which is business to business, right? You talk directly to the decision maker immediately, being the agent, the team leader, the broker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, you have higher transaction values per sale that you help them develop. For example, like a 1 million average home equals a 2.5 commission rate, and that basically equals to a $25,000 per deal. One of our clients, Denny, we actually basically helped him sell 3 houses within that average home price, right? So 1.2 being 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, roughly $60,000 in 1 month, right? Because good agents and good teams can afford strong retainers because they're actually doing good production, right? The cons, though, and I'm just being mad honest, service delivery can be a little bit more complex, and lead life cycle is long. Roughly, their sales cycle per qualified lead, I should say, is roughly from 3 to 6 months. So if you're just doing organic content for them, you might not be able to get a transaction for them within the first 3 to 6 months, especially if that's part of your offer. However, within a year or 2 years, 1000%. Like, we've literally done it multiple times with multiple real estate owners and just brokers overall that we've worked with. And unless you were trying to basically add that as part of your guarantee that we're actually going to get you a transaction. But organic content, as far as developing a short form organic content agency, you wouldn't be able to do that unless you're going viral every single time, which is almost impossible, especially when you have to test a bunch. When going into 2026, it's literally a volume game. But one thing I will say, if you can generate a offer that's basically organic content and ads at the same time, then the likelihood of that actually happening makes more sense, right? So the big idea here is essentially every niche has pros and cons. However, with real estate, competition isn't stacked with killers. You actually have to like the space. So if you actually like real estate a lot, then it's actually a really great niche for you, especially if you're trying to get into real estate investing in the future, or you're trying to get into your first house, or if anything. I've literally learned every single thing that I know from real estate because I have real estate clients, and it just comes up in conversation when I'm shooting with them, or over the concept of they're asking me, like, what am I thinking of as far as getting a house or an apartment or whatever it is. And to be honest with you, it's like almost like a symbiotic relationship, especially when you're trying to get a house or a piece of real estate down the line, especially when you develop an income with your business. But I digress. Now we go into step 2. I want you to master one service before expanding. And what do I mean? I don't necessarily want you to become the we do everything agency at the start. I want you to start with lead generation only. The reason why I say that is because I literally started my agency basically saying, like, oh, we do email, we do websites, we do this, we do that, we do greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, you name it. And at the end of the day, I just felt myself like burnt out, and I was just like, why am I even doing this? I don't even like half of these things. And I basically doubled down on the thing that I actually genuinely enjoyed, which is basically short form content, organic short form content, that's why I developed the short form organic content agency when I was still running that. And that literally got to 6 figures in roughly less than 6 months. So My thing, if you want to learn how to do that too, just click the first link in the description. We literally have a community coaching program and a course where you can basically learn how to do this in less than 90 days. But anyway, getting back into the video. If you're going to be focusing on lead generation only, you have to focus on Facebook and IG ads, or Meta ads more specifically, or in addition to YouTube and Google ads for buyer and seller leads. Once that's dialed in, then you can start to add landing pages, internal sales agents or ISAs, or people who have basically call on their behalf in order to basically qualify the leads, CRM setups and automations, and then social media and content management, right? The message is very simple. You have a simple focus offer, and then literally go into better delivery, figure out how to deliver your service better, and then it's easier to scale, because simple scales, complex fails. Shout out to bars. Anyway, the next step is essentially step 3, which you build systems from day one, right? So I want you to start creating, as you start to develop your business, onboarding templates, the need for SOPs or standard operating procedures for ad creation and campaign setup, and lead nurturing workflows, right? So think like you're about to hire the next 3 to 5 people, and then basically make those documents, those Loom videos, etc., however you want to basically do that sort of thing, and document how you create the campaigns, do the outreach, take the sales calls, and then basically give those to the people who you're trying to bring onto your business overall, because you can't be doing everything in your business because you're not going to scale. You're always going to have to hire and consistently tell them what to do, so you might as well just develop the SOP so you can actually send it to them so they can get the job done immediately. So the benefit is essentially that you're not necessarily stuck in your business 24/7, and then hiring and scaling literally becomes plug and play instead of just chaos, right? So the next thing is step 4, is be strategic about the location and market. Not all real estate markets are equal. I'll be honest, selling a house in Alabama is not going to reap rewards in comparison to having clients that sell houses in California, South Florida, New York. Like, it has to be a growing market, it has to be a hot market versus a market that you want to avoid, which is essentially a declining one, like anywhere outside of metropolitan areas, right? So you want to also be able to make sure that all of the agents are ready to basically make deals and willing to be on camera on a consistent basis. For example, some competitive markets could be like Silicon Valley, which basically requires strong agents, strong brands, and better ads overall on YouTube or Meta, depending on where you want to make your ads overall. Plus, you have to understand, one market plus one good client can basically support your whole freaking agency, especially if you have an offering that's roughly like $3,000 or $4,000. That can literally replace any 9-to-5 that basically pays just as much, and then you can just focus on adding maybe 3 or 4 more clients, and then you have a 10K agency, right? Anyway, the next thing is essentially step 5, is understand real estate lead lifecycle, or essentially their overall sales cycle, more so to think. I want you to start expecting that their sales cycle or their month's sales cycle is usually from 3 to 6 months. Like literally from qualified lead to a deal, and them getting actually $20,000 for whatever it is they do. It's not necessarily like e-com where it's basically an impulse buy and like speed is like everything. So I want to make sure that I'm setting the expectations for you, especially if you're trying to get into this, that you have to also set expectations for the clients that you put on. So it's essentially developing long-term agreements with your clients overall, and this means literally developing a contract with the people that you actually want to do business with within 6 to 12 months, right? And the reason why I say that is because they're not going to get results. They're not going to get results within 3 months unless you know how to make viral content happen overnight, and that's awesome. You know, that's great for you. But most people don't. Or ads that happen literally overnight, but most people don't. So my thing for you, give yourself the wiggle room in order to understand that their sales cycle is actually longer in comparison to most people. And on top of that, your pipeline and your appointments can be built first, and then you can focus on generating that result, whatever your offer is, so that way it can lead to closings, so that makes sense. So then the result is your clients don't freak out, they haven't gotten any results 30, 60, 90 days out, and you attract more serious buyers, because literally at the end of the day, you want agents that actually can work with you and get on camera easily, right? And step 6. So you want to make sure that you're pricing on value, not on hours, right? Because a lot of people will make the case of like, oh, but you're not necessarily doing a lot of this work, blah, blah, you're just reposting videos, or we used that video like 3 months ago, blah, blah, blah. I don't want you to charge based on how many hours will I work on this. I want you to price based on market value, value of one deal to the agent, and your experience plus the results. And this is within your sales call, within their sales cycle overall, when you're basically working with them within a 2 to 3 month period. And if you're new, don't discount temporarily to get in the door and build case studies. So what does that mean? If you have to basically find clients and you have no clients at all, like you have 0 clients, like nobody's paying you money, and you basically need proof in order to get somebody through the door, literally start doing stuff for free. And once you start doing stuff for free and you have 5 people, right? 5 people doing stuff for free, and then you get testimonials from those 5 people, then you basically move on from going from 0 to actually start charging them. The way that I did was charging real estate agents actually $500 a month. And then I started producing results for them, this, that, and the third. And then as I got more clients to the door, which the most clients I had at one point was 23 clients, literally all around the United States, literally North Carolina, New York, Texas, and California before I started the community and the coaching program and the course. And I started with $500 and it was great. Like I was making a lot of money. We even got to like 21K a month, which is great. But at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't have any testimonials to start with, so then I had to basically start with for free. And some of those people that are free, that or started free, stayed with me and they started paying me. However, some of those people, I didn't have to work with them anymore because I did free work for them, so I don't have any obligation. But at least I had a testimonial from them, so that way I can actually show to the masses that I'm actually doing what I say I can, right? I can literally tell you that I literally made a Grammy happen, right? And nobody can take that away from me. But then at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck at $500 months forever. So anyway, I'm literally just going to recap all this more so than anything else. You have to take into consideration the need for clients as soon as possible, literally just trying to get paid. But if you're just trying to get testimonials, I understand that. However, if you want to get into a niche that can literally pay you as soon as possible because of the fact that like they basically need it, or basically need that intentional marketing for their business overall, because a lot of people buy on Instagram on top of that, and they find people online that they actually genuinely develop a connection with, then social media is a really great way to do that. If you want to do it via ads or short form content or both at the same time, focus on getting those testimonials more so than anything else, and then transition to actual paid services. Otherwise, if you want to learn how to do this effectively, whether it be in real estate or any of the stuff that we basically talk about in our course, basically click the first link in the description, because obviously we done it before, Zach has done it before, and on top of that, we have the results to prove it. So if you want to check that out, click the first link in the description and we can literally talk to you there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and just, follow the channel. And if you want any more videos specifically on what you can do in SMMA to start your SMMA into 2026, starting to make money, basically put it down in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Peace.